Good morning. I pray that all is well. We are in Numbers 20, and today I just want to change it up a little bit and go right into the word. I'll leave much of the commentary alone and maybe leave that for personal blogs, but for right now, let's just open in a small prayer and then go right into 20. Dear Father God, I'm thankful for the opportunity of being in your word. I pray that it is your voice that the listener hears, that we receive a message to give you thanks that we are able to do this over the internet. And as always, I pray that your will be done and not my own. It is in your name I pray. Amen. Moses errs at Kadesh. Then the children of Israel, the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the first month, and the people stayed in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. Now there was no water for the congregation, so they gathered together against Moses and Aaron, and the people contended with Moses and spoke, saying, If only we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. Why have you brought up the assembly of the Lord into the wilderness? I'm so sorry. Verse 4, Why have you brought up the assembly of the Lord into the wilderness, that we and our animals should die here? And why have you made us come up out of Egypt to bring us to this evil place? It is not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, nor is there any water to drink. So here they are complaining again. And so they've lost Miriam. Miriam has died. And Aaron and Moses are now having to listen to them complain once again. Verse 6, So Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and they fell on their faces, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take the rod, you and your brother Aaron, and gather congregation together. Speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will yield its water. Thus you shall bring water from them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their animals. So Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, Hear now, you rebels, must we bring water for you out of this rock? Then Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came out abundantly, and the congregation and their animals drank. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, Because you did not believe me to hallow me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring the assembly into the land which I have given them. So he's telling them that they're no longer going to, Moses and Aaron, the two leaders, the two chosen, and that are allowed to approach the tabernacle and get a word from the Lord. The Lord is not pleased with them because of how they received the instruction, and I guess he had an attitude. And even though he hit the rock twice and told them, water sprang from the rock and they were able to drink, he did it with an attitude. So now Aaron and Moses lose the privilege of entering into the promised land. They'll go all the way there, but they won't make it through. So he is merciful, and that is his punishment, and he did not die for being disrespectful to God who is holy, but he will not enter into the promised land. Okay. 13. This was the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel contended with the Lord, and he was hallowed among them. Passage through Edom refused. Now Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the kingdom of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, You know all the hardship that has befallen us, how our fathers went down to Egypt, and we dwelt in Egypt a long time. And the Egyptians afflicted us and our fathers when we cried out to the Lord. He heard our voice and sent the angel and brought us up out of Egypt. Now here we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. Please let us pass through your country. We will not pass through the fields or the vineyards, nor will we drink water from the wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed through your territory. Then Edom said to him, You shall not pass through my land, lest I come out against you with the sword. So the children of Israel said to him, We will go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I will pay for it. Let me only pass through on foot, nothing more. Then he said, You shall not pass through. So Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. Thus Saddam refused to give Israel passage through his territory, so Israel turned away from him. Death of Aaron. Now the children of Israel, the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor, and strip Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his sons, for Aaron shall be gathered to his people, and die there. So Moses did just as the Lord commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. Moses stripped Aaron of his garments, and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. Now when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel mourned for Aaron 30 days. I can't mention that. We're going to go ahead and move right into 21. If you follow, please. I'm always smiling because if you're here, you're following. And I'm saying please. So, thank you. Canaanites defeated at Hormah, chapter 21. The king of Arad, the Canaanite who dwelt in the south, heard that Israel was coming on the road of Atharim. Then he fought against Israel and took some of the prisoners. So Israel made a vow to the Lord and said, If you will indeed deliver these people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. So the name of the place was called Hormah, the bronze serpent. Then they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom. And the soul of the people became very discouraged on the way. And the people spoke against God and against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no food and no water, and our soul loathes this worthless bread. So the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, We have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray for the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. So Moses prayed for the people. Then the Lord said to Moses, Make a fiery serpent and set it on a pole, and it shall be that everyone who is bitten, when he looks at it, shall live. So they never got permission to go through Edom, and so they're making a longer passage, and it's not an easy passage. And because if they're complaining, they called manna bread. So again, when we get angry and we show our aggression in disrespecting the Lord, dishonoring him, taking his name in vain, it should be considered highly offensive, a sin, and that's how they see it. And so they asked Moses to pray for them so that he may take away the snakes, and he did. He even did so in a way that once they looked at the rod, which God instructed him to do, that they were healed from their bites. So I think I'm always looking for what he did to correct something we did disobediently, and where his mercy was, because it seems to be all over. So he doesn't do one without the other. From Mount Hor to Moab, verse 10. Now the children of Israel moved on and camped in Oboth, and they journeyed from Oboth and camped at Ij Abarim in the wilderness, which is east of Moab, toward the sunrise. From there they moved and camped in the valley of Zered. From there they moved and camped on the other side of the Arnon. Am I saying that right? Arnon, yes, which is in the wilderness that extends from the border of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore, it is said to be in the book of wars of the Lord. Waheb and Suphah, the brooks of Arnon, and the slope of the brooks that reaches to the dwelling of Ar and lies in the border of Moab. Let me do that again, because I misspoke. Therefore, it is said that the book of the wars of the Lord, Waheb and Suphah, that's the book of the war, the brooks of the Arnon, and the slope of the brooks that reaches to the dwelling of Ar and lies on the border of Moab. From there they went to Beer, which is the well, where the Lord said to Moses, Gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, Spring up, O well, all of you sing to it. The well the leaders sank, dug by the nation's nobles, by the lawgiver with their staves. And from the wilderness they went to Mattanah, from Mattanah to Nahaliel, from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth in the valley, that is the country of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the wasteland. King Sihon defeated. Then Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, "Let me pass through your land. We will not turn aside into fields or vineyards. We will not drink water from wells. We will go by the king's highway until we have passed through your territory." But Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his territory. So Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel in the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel. Then Israel defeated him with the edge of the sword and took possession of his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, as for the people of Ammon, for the border of the people of Ammon was fortified. So Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all its villages. For Heshbon was a city of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and had taken all his land from his hand as far as Arnon. Therefore those who speak the proverb say, "Come to Heshbon, let it be built, let the city of Sihon be repaired." For fire went out from Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the lords of the heights of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You have perished, O people of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives and his daughters into captivity to Sihon, king of the Amorites. But we have shot at them. Heshbon has perished as far as Dibon. Then we laid waste as far as Nephah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel dwelt in the land of the Amorites. Then Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took its villages and drove out the Amorites who were there. So prophecy is happening. They're still moving forward, and they are conquering, as they did here with the Amorites, and many villages, not just one. So 33, king of Og defeated, and they turned and went up by the way to Bashan. So Og, king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all the people, to battle at Edrei. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Do not fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand, with all the people and his land, and you shall do him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon." So they defeated him, his sons, and all his people, until there was no survivor left him, and they took possession of his land. Blessed to be the word of the Lord. That was a good message. I hope you were able to follow and receive the word this morning. May you have a good day. God bless you. Take care.